One of the biggest reasons why brain drain is not good for developing countries, such as India, is that it benefits the foreign countries. Besides loss of talent, it is also a national loss because of expenses incurred on a brilliant student's education. Whenever the retrenchment starts in foreign countries, the Indians are at the forefront. They also treat us as second-rate citizens. Therefore, foreign jobs may pay a lot of money, but there is not always respect in them. In conclusion, in a country like India, where cultural values are of utmost importance, brain drain sometimes also leads to the erosion of same cultural values. Needless to say, brain drain is a bane for developing countries. Our education system is made in such a way that it favors the elite. The elites are rewarded by a laureate system that put emphasis on the results obtained by simple intelligence tests. Based on this system, what is left for parents is to ensure that their ward tops the class. In order to make their ward the topper of the class, they send them to tuitions. Tuition may lead to too much of pampering and may kill the self-effort of the student. The student would not touch the book unless the tuition teacher turns up. Instead of working and learning on his own, he becomes so dependent on the tuition teacher that, ultimately, the gain would be perceptibly nil. Private tuition can be a financial burden to parents who are poor. The notion that the 21st century is full of greed is one that is easy to arrive at. Today we have more material comfort than we probably know what to do with, and a great divide in the incomes that people earn. Yet, we are in a time when more people are giving to charity than ever before. In the past few years, those who can, have started donating generously to multiple causes. There exist NGOs and charities that help people with everything from getting back onto their feet after a natural disaster to curing terminal illnesses. What is important to note is not just that these charities exist, but that there is an increasing number of people giving generously towards various causes. A pure white tiger is totally white without any stripe, which is due to the presence of double recessive allele in the genetic code. It happens only in the Bengal tiger subspecies, and only 1 in 10,000 births can have it naturally. White tigers are rarely seen in the wild, and only 12 of them have been spotted in India since last 100 years. Tigers have a lifespan of 10 to 15 years. They are solitary animals, and are fond of hunting at night. Their diet consists of any animals that they can catch, and can eat up to 40 pounds of meat at one time. After such a big meal, they usually remain away for several days from food. They are slow runners, but good swimmers. They are poor climbers and cannot climb a tree easily. They live in an area ranging from 10 to 30 square miles depending upon the availability of prey, water and shelter. The government must empathize with the plight of the poorest of the poor and take some necessary actions to prevent prices of essential commodities from skyrocketing. It should put a stop to hoarding and black marketing and come up with adequate mechanisms to increase the production of the essential commodities to meet the rising demands. The needs of the common man should be looked into before exporting products to other countries. Moreover, in adverse situation, government can utilize subsidies so that the prices can be kept low. Summing up, I would like to say that the common man can do cost cutting or check his spending capacity. But, it is the government that can do much more than just implement laws. Thoughts are supreme. Preserve the right mental attitude of courage, frankness and good cheer. Think of success in your work and you will then do automatically and unconsciously the things necessary to bring success about. If your desire is weak and your efforts are erratic, your achievements will also be slight and fleeting. But, if you go after your goal with the single-mindedness of a bulldog after a cat, nothing and nobody under the sun can stop you. Your goal should also be well-defined, clear-cut and specific and should be linked to a fixed time frame so that your definite energies and efforts can be focused and forcefully directed towards its attainment. The urge to go to the West has become compelling in India in post-independence years. Both the world wars and political upheavals like civil wars and revolutions spawned large migrations during the first half of this century. The migrations in the latter half stemmed from economic motivation. People in power like scientists and skilled persons have, from the very beginning, played a key role in international migration. The conscious policy to encourage migration of high-quality manpower from other regions and countries is related to the positive contribution made by the immigrants to their country of adoption, resulting in a net advantage to it. These animals have survived over many generations because they were able to adapt to their particular conditions. However, a certain number of species were unable to adapt fast enough to their environment and so died out. One of the most interesting animals in the Sahara is the sand stink, which in French means fish of the desert. The sand stink behaves just like a fish except that instead of in water, it swims through the sand. Its legs act as fins and the hard scales on its skin act as armor, helping it move through the sand. A piece of transparent skin protects its eyes as it swims through the sand. Its eggs are covered with skin to prevent dehydration. The sparrows are some of the few birds that engage in dust bathing. Sparrows will first scratch a hole in the ground with their feet, then lie in it and fling dirt or sand over their bodies with flicks of their wings. Many birds, particularly game birds and sparrows, take dust baths as part of their regular preening. The dust helps dislodge parasites and absorbs excess preen oil so feathers are not heavily coated. Birds that do not bathe in water are more likely to use dust baths frequently, but many birds use both types of bathing. They will also bathe in water, or in dry or melting snow. Water bathing is similar to dust bathing, with the sparrow standing in shallow water and flicking water over its back with its wings, and also ducking its head under the water. I couldn't help but notice that the youngsters of our generation are becoming increasingly impatient. Be it the pattern of education or results or conclusion of anything. This generation demands prompt response. This impatience shows in the daily activities of youngsters. And more often than not, this impatience turns into aggression. I have noticed a lot of students of senior classes aggressively bullying the small kids to get their things done before others. I was more disturbed to witness aggression of few students towards teachers and rules of the school as well. Teachers are one of the most respected people of our society. They are the building blocks of our future. The brain requires more oxygen than any other organ. If it does not get enough, the result is mental sluggishness, negative thoughts and depression and, eventually, vision and hearing decline. Old people and those whose arteries are clogged often become senile and vague because oxygen to the brain is reduced. They get irritated very quickly. Poor oxygen supply affects all parts of the body. The oxygen supply is reduced to all parts of the body as we get older due to poor lifestyle. Many people need reading glasses and suffer hearing decline in old age. When an acute circulation blockage deprives the heart of oxygen, a heart attack is the result. If this occurs to the brain, the result is a stroke.
Hello Jason, how are you? It's been a long time since we last met.
Oh, hi Sarah, I have got a new job now and is going great. How about you?
Not too bad.
How often do you eat at this cafe?
This is my first time. My friends kept telling me the food was great, so tonight I decided to try it. What have you been up to?
I have been so busy with my new job that I have not had the time to do much else, but otherwise, me and the family are all fine.
Well, I hope you and your family have a lovely meal.
Yes, you too.
Trust is one of the most important aspects of relationship. Medicine cures the physical ailment of a person, but trust and care help a person recover mentally. A trustworthy person will be dependable and honest with you. They will not lie, steal, cheat, lose devotion in something, or turn their back on you over trivial matters. Integrity, honesty, reliability and loyalty are the easy ways to describe trustworthiness. Integrity is believing in yourself and standing up for what you believe in. Life will be difficult if there is no trust between husband and wife, parents and children, friends and neighbors, etc. When trust is lost, it is irreparable. If trust is lost, life may go on, but the broken edge will always be visible. A trustworthy person is a valuable and reliable person. Today mobile phones have become a very important gadget. It can be seen in everyone's hand. It is true that with mobile phones, life has become easier. People can contact each other whenever they want to, or if there is an emergency, one can make a call from wherever he or she is. Along with these advantages, it has its abuses also. People talk while driving, which leads to many accidents. Students waste a lot of time by playing games on the mobile phone all the time or talking to friends. This is a big distraction as studies suffer because of this. Thus, mobile phones are indeed a very good device, only if it is used properly, otherwise it can be very dangerous. The population of India is increasing at an alarming rate. We can call it a population explosion, which is very harmful for the country. At present, the population of our country is more than 108 crores. Control over diseases is one of the causes of this fast increase in population. No doubt, medical science has made progress and the fear of most of the diseases has vanished. It is a good sign that death rate has declined, but it is essential to control the birth rate as well. We must take steps to check the fast growth of population. People should be educated and told about the need of family planning. This is an important task before the nation. There is no doubt that robots are much more efficient than teachers ever will be. But human teachers make learning fun, and they can be caring and understanding. The biggest advantage of computer teachers is that the computer teachers have better memory than the human teacher has, as a computer can memorize anything. In my opinion, computers should not replace teachers. UNESCO claims that today's robots simply can't match human teachers in the quality of education they provide to students. Hence, it is possible that no robot will ever be good enough to replace teachers completely. While robots can teach students skills or reinforce difficult concepts for struggling students, it can't replace a human teacher. Students need emotional support along with academic support from the teacher, which only a human teacher can provide. This is a great lesson for all of us to learn. that in all matters the two extremes are alike. The extreme positive and the extreme negative are always similar. When the vibrations of light are too slow, we do not see them, nor do we see them when they are too rapid. So is with sound. When very low in pitch, we do not hear it. When very high, we do not hear it either. Of like nature is the difference between resistance and non-resistance. One man does not resist because he is weak, lazy, and cannot, because he will not. The other man knows that he can strike an irresistible blow if he likes. Yet he not only does not strike, but blesses his enemies. The culture of nuclear families is in fashion. Parents are often heard complaining about the difficulties in bringing up children these days. Too much of freedom in demand, too much independence, overnight parties, excessive extravagance, splurging pocket money, no time for studies and family. All this is a common cry of such families. Aren't parents, themselves, responsible for this pitiful state? The basic need of a growing youth is the family, love, attention and bonding along with moral values. One should not forget that charity begins at home. Children today are to be handled with tact in order to bridge the ever-widening generation gap. Only the reasonable demands need to be fulfilled, as there are too many expenses to be met and too many social obligations to be taken care of by the parents. Deserts, despite a reputation in some quarters as a barren and useless wasteland or as problems to be solved, have been a way of life for many different peoples. Ancient Egyptian society began along the fertile banks of the river Nile, which is buffered on both sides by hot and dry desert, which they saw as vital to their culture. Some attribute the arid environment of the Egyptian interior to the development of their complex culture and especially their rituals and cults surrounding death. It is particularly believed that the desiccated nature of bodies as found in the desert dying of exposure or from natural causes provided inspiration for their experiments and developments leading to the mummification process. Certainly, the dry environment of Western Egypt where the pyramids are located would have been the perfect environment to prevent the sort of cadaver degradation seen in biomes with higher precipitation and humidity. For the first 30 years of his life, Beethoven could listen to and play music effortlessly. As a result, he understood sounds of musical instruments and the pitch of the singing voices. He knew the harmony between music and singing before he became completely deaf. His deafness was not sudden, but a gradual decline. This slow process of losing his hearing activated his mind to imagine how his compositions would sound like. When he became completely deaf, he started to observe the vibrations of the piano. The observations helped him realize that he could not hear the high notes of the piano. To be able to hear his own compositions, he sawed off the legs of his piano.